I've had several conversations with my friends here about home solar systems because they were thinking about doing that for their house or for the future or whatnot. And what I noticed is there's so much push for on-grid net metering systems compared to the off-grid systems. I always wonder why. What up, fam? Welcome to a very sunny Iloilo City here in the Philippines. And speaking of sun, this is a perfect conversation to have today. Imagine cutting your electric bill, the convenience of having power, even though there's a power outage, especially in this hot, sunny weather. That's what we're going to talk about today. So hopefully you guys will learn something today, and we'll talk about the different types of solar systems for your house here in the Philippines. What solar system we went with, who did we go with in terms of the company, how much did it cost? Of course, everybody is asking about that. The return on investment, and of course, is it worth it to do it here in the Philippines? So, all that today, we're gonna talk about that. But first, we're gonna drop Preston to school. So, anyways, there's here in the Philippines, I'm pretty sure everywhere else, there's two types of solar system, the on-grid and off-grid. So your on-grid would be like net metering, where you don't have a battery. You actually resell the excess energy or power that you harvested from the sun back to the power company. Now the only thing is, it's not 1:1 payment. What I mean is, basically, if you're buying from the power from, or you're using power from the power company, they charge you, and this is just an example, it's also the current rate, it could fluctuate. They charge you like about 14 pesos per kilowatt hour. However, if you have solar, you have excess and you're reselling it to them, and they'll only buy it from you for like about 6 pesos or something like that. And the reason why, and like, again, it's just an example, it's not an exact rate. And like some of the cons that when we were trying to decide on the different solar system, is on the net metering is it takes a while to get it processed, because it has to go through several government agencies like permits and stuff like that, to have that system. I don't know if you can hear me. It's pretty windy here in the wind tunnel. Meaning, I've seen it. I've heard some took a couple weeks, some took a couple years, and this is from the solar company experience, and I've heard some talks about that as well too. The other thing is, you have to file a TIN number, which is like an SS number, a tax ID, basically, because if you have a lot of excess where the power company actually gives you writes you a check for it, which is great, that's considered as income, so it's taxable as well. And the biggest thing for us about net metering is it's still prone to power outage. because you don't have a battery storage with it. So the system we have is an off-grid system, and our off-grid system is like a hybrid type where we still are tied up to the power company, but it's on demand, like as needed only. So like for example, if you are welding something where it requires more than the system that was installed in your roof, like more than 10 kVA, or if you have 5 kVA system, you're using more than 5 kVA, we need to switch to the power company in order for us to do that. So the one big con for off-grid solar system is it's hella expensive. I ain't gonna lie, hella expensive. And the batteries are the most expensive part of the system as well. However, the thing with the off-grid system, you're not prone to what do you call this, to power outage. You don't have to wait for a process to get it installed. If your solar company that you're going with has all the equipment and all that, they could install it right away if they schedule you to install. The other advantage is there's a possibility that you could have zero bill. I've seen so many people, we've experienced zero bill, a month or like 2 months we have it. The only reason why we're paying electric bill right now is because we have visitors. We were still doing weldings in the house and stuff like that. But when we had the zero bill, we were really frugal on what we use at night, because that's the only time you really needed your battery is at night, like maybe like after 5 o'clock or something like that. So now that we have like refrigerators, we have microwave, all that stuff, all the appliances, that eats up quite a bit of your reserve power in there. Currently our system is at 10 kVA up on the roof. We have 24 panels, solar panels, and the way we designed the house, the sun could see it pretty much the whole day, the panels. Yeah, so we have a 10 kVA system and we have a 5 kVA battery storage. We're probably thinking of adding another battery, just to match the system. So one battery is 5 kVA. This is the lithium phosphate batteries, the new technology batteries and stuff like that. Our solar provider is SkyBright Solar, and I'll put their link below. If you guys want to consult with them, if you're here from Iloilo, not just in the city of Iloilo, they actually go to Bacolod, Guimaras, and some provinces here in Panay. I'm not sure if they go farther than that, but you could ask them. Yeah, so we went with SkyBright Solar's. Number one is their professionalism, and number two, which is the biggest thing, is their customer service. Not only when they're consulting with you, but even after installation. We don't have internet here, so they can't monitor our usage and the faults and errors and stuff like that that's happening in the system. But even not having that, calling them, like, and I feel bad calling them on their days off, or off hours and stuff like that, they always respond, whether they answer their phone calls or they text me or message me on Messenger. They always respond, and they always walk me through, or if they're available, they'll send somebody over here to show me. Majority of the time it's just basically getting tripped, or when we had that 2 days without power, basically used up all our battery and it needed to be rebooted. yeah, so they walked me through like what needs to be done, stuff like that. Yeah, because these stuff you need to learn. You can't just like, oh yeah, okay, they install it and then you don't learn it. You want to learn this stuff because majority of these things happening usually are during off business hours. So yeah, so we love Skybright Solar, and we've referred them quite a few times already. I know some of you guys already asked about that and about them as well. So yeah, Skybright Solar, check them out. The best thing is if you're building your house here and you're thinking about solar, make sure you have that in the plan to you're gonna put solar there. The other thing is get your electrical plans ready. It's part of your blueprints and stuff. The reason why is because it has the load schedule in there, and they could design, when you consult with them, they could design a system suitable to the load that you have in your house you've been using. Because like, you know, microwaves, air conditioning, washer and dryer, stuff like that, whatever you have in there, they need to account that when they're putting together a system for you. So make sure you have that. If you don't have the electrical plans, they'll ask you, like, you know, appliances, like, are you welding or are you doing a lot of workshop stuff, and you know, all those things, because they need to consider that one. So when you're doing a consultation with any solar company, especially their reputable ones, definitely be ready for that. That way they give you a close to accurate system for what you need. And so yeah, shout out to Wilson from Skybright Solar. He's been very helpful, and you guys should ask for him if you guys decide to check them out, get a consultation for your house and stuff like that. Wilson is great. He is super busy though. You forgot my freebies. Wilson, where's my freebies, man? Show you guys our solar system. Forgive the mess. We made this utility room. Let me turn this on. We actually had this utility room built for the solar system, and it turned into a storage because I didn't know this is all you need for the solar system. It's basically a, I don't know, 2 feet by 4 feet space, and probably height wise, I'm gonna say 7 feet, somewhere there. So we turned it into a storage instead, but we still have to actually unbox some of this stuff so we could put it away. Like the ones in the clear bins, like my bike stuff, like parts and stuff like that, it's already in there. But this one's like office supplies and all that. We had to go through it and that. But let me show you guys our system. We have the Growatt off-grid inverted system. So right now we are full solar right there, and you get all the switches right there, and then you get the battery right there. That one battery is 5 kVA, so we're probably gonna add another one. We just did one because we want to make sure that we unnecessarily just added a battery, but you know, we tried it out. It did its thing. It's pretty good, but the only thing that kept us from thinking about adding another one is because that's only 5 kVA. If we add another 5 kVA battery, that will be 10, that matches the system, and whatever we're gonna use, we don't have to worry about tripping it or overloading and all that stuff on the load. So with the 5 kVA, we still had to load manage, especially at night. So this stuff right here, this is pretty cool. This is my favorite right here. This is the breakers for the inverter. The power for the battery is there. And then there's get your switch for the inverter. And this one is the one where if you need the electric company or the power company to step in because you're welding or you're gonna use more than 10 kVA during the daytime or more than 5 kVA during the nighttime. For us, in our situation, we just switch this to more right there. Our power company is more powered. And then there's the solar right there. We're learning on this. So on here, just to give you guys the basic, if there is like a line like this on this one, this is the power company right here. Right now we're full solar, so that's all you see. And then if the power company is helping, you'll see a line right here too, helping it out. So right now it's at 95%. It could go 100% for a few, because from what I've learned that these inverters actually gets powered by the battery. So it's independent for the with the battery. So it actually consumes some of the battery power as well. So you gotta take that into consideration. So right now we have, how many air conditioning? Got like 3 or 4 air conditioning is on, and some fans and stuff like that. We are utilizing about 1.14 kVA right there, and we're generating 742 kilowatt hour. So hence we have 95%. Because we have a small battery, which is the 5 kVA, and we have a 10 kVA system, it basically charges the battery like in a few hours. And then the rest is just gravy. So the other feature that we have in our system is our battery is set to be reserved at 40%. So we have 40% worth of battery storage for power outages. And what happens is when it reaches 40%, the power company steps in and helps out at night and charge the battery all the way up to 50%, and then it comes off again. So at that rate, it's doing 1.5 kilowatt hour per kilowatt hour on charging the battery. So it probably will charge it for like, I don't know, 10-20 minutes or something like that. Yeah, so that's what it does. It was set up to do that. So again, that's another charges in the bill. So but you're looking at pretty minimal when it comes to that, because 1.5 per kilowatt hour. So you're looking at like about what, 20 pesos, 21 pesos per hour. So it's good enough. So our battery, probably the 40% of battery would last us like about 2 to 4 hours, depending on what we are using at that time, like at night, because that's the only time we're going to use it, at night. Now you guys are probably wondering, damn, how much does that cost? Well, like I mentioned, off-grid solar is hella expensive. The battery alone, right at the moment, is at 150,000 pesos for the battery alone. So if we need to buy another battery, it's another 150,000 pesos. Good lord. For our whole system, 10 kVA up on the roof, installation, everything, and the 5 kVA battery, our whole system is about 650,000 pesos, and in dollars that's about, I think, how much did I calculate that? Because when we bought this, it was still at a higher conversion rate. So it's like about $11,200. Because the conversion rate when we bought it is at $58. I mean, sorry, 58 pesos per dollar. Yes, it's a little more expensive. Actually, it's a lot more expensive. But we were just thinking, our house in Rodeo, California, it was smaller square footage compared to this house. And we had consultation. I can't remember what solar company that was that consulted with us, and they gave us an estimate of $25,000 for that small house. So that's why we thought about it, because $25,000 and how much we pay in terms of monthly, in terms of electric bill, return on investment is quite a ways out when it comes to that. It's not like here where it's like 5 years you're probably good with your return on investment. In terms of our expected return on investment is about 5 years, probably lower as the or shorter as the what do you call this, the electric company increases their electric bills or their rates and stuff like that. So yeah, so this is in terms of return on investment. It's based off of a similar household that's also here to us, that's paying like almost like 20,000 pesos per month, like 15 I believe, or something like that. Pesos, 1,000 pesos a month for just for electric bill. So with the with that rate, our return on investment would be a little bit shorter. So people are asking, is it worth it? Like the savings that you're doing? Yeah, hells yeah, it's worth it. For this house with all that appliances, we're probably gonna be saving like 8 to 10,000 pesos in electric bill a month. That's the savings because of what we have here. It also adds value to your house, so you could price up your house if you want to. So bringing it back, when I was thinking about it, like during the conversation I have with my friends, why there's a lot more push on grid than off grid. What it is it's a different mindset. Like people that lives here in the Philippines or have been living here all their life in the Philippines, compared to us coming in or coming back to the Philippines, coming from the outside, from the US, whatnot, in our situation, in my situation, or in our situation, coming from the US. So that's when I was thinking, like, oh, I get where they're coming from now. When we talk about net metering and off grid, why off grid is not a good investment, net metering is the way to go, and all that stuff. It's just a different mindset on the conversation, what you use your solar for. So over here, people are sick and tired of paying up the yin yang on their electric bill, and it just gets higher and higher and higher. Plus the equipment on net metering or on grid systems is so much less expensive than the off grid. So if there's any way they could have the power company cut their costs significantly in electric bill and have the power company write them a check for excess power, they're all about it. They don't mind power outages. Yes, it is inconvenient, but it's something they could live with. Blackout, if there's power outage, they go to the mall or whatnot. And while us coming from the US, when we talk about solar, we're more about thinking about, yes, we're thinking about cutting electric bill, but more so on, I don't want to deal with California's rolling blackout anymore. Basically, just don't want to pay anything. If we could buy coming from the US, if we could buy a system that gives us zero electric bill, we'll do it. and then have power during a power outage. So like in a nutshell though, like the way we think about it in solar, it's like not only that you're cutting cost on your bill, possibly zero, you also have the convenience of having power. But yeah, so those are the reasons why back in the States we wanted solar. Yeah, but all that is just us though. That's how we wanted it. That's the way of life we wanted, and the way of life we're used to, and that's how it shapes up our decision making. How about you guys? So you guys are off grid or on grid? Are you guys thinking about any of those? Comment down below. We're interested in what everybody else would have to say about their solar system, or what they're thinking about when it comes to solar system here in the Philippines, or even outside the Philippines, anywhere in the world. That's it for this video, guys. So hopefully this video helps you guys if you're on the fence about solar system here in the Philippines or anywhere in the world. And thank you for watching, and thank you for subscribing, and we'll see you guys on the next.